rookie, and I just won the Jay Cutler overall for women's physique, and my next show will be Team Universe to try to obtain my pro card. What I like most about this sport is the fact that we have to do it ourselves, really. Nobody can, someone can hand you a diet, and but even that is work. But the training, it has to be something that you enjoy doing, that you're very disciplined in. You have your set schedule, and it's very regimented, and that's part of your life part of my life, and part of most people's lives, is something that we have control over. Either some people are anorexic, and that's a control issue too. So this is my healthy control issue right now. This is how I control my life. Does that make sense? What do I hate most about the sport? Bikini bite. You got to glue your suit to yourself. That's the worst. I don't really hate anything about it. Physique, I really love. Women's figure, we only did quarter turns, and we had high heels. I liked wearing the high heels, but they were extremely painful. And we only had 4 quarter turn poses, whereas in physique we have 5 mandatories. Open-handed, it's sort of a light bodybuilding kind of thing. We do it barefoot. We have our quarter turns, we have our mandatories, and we also do a routine to music for the night show. So we're on stage quite a bit, and we get to express ourselves a lot more in physique. My competitive goals for 2012 are to obtain my pro card with the NPC and become an IFBB pro. I did a show, I did the USA's, and I came in 7th, and I was pretty happy about being 7th. Of course, everyone wants to be top 5. And then I did Miami Nationals, which turned out to be a nightmare. There were 56 girls in my short class, and it was crazy, and I felt I didn't even get looked at. I was probably holding a little water, but my pictures, I think, came out worse than I actually looked, and I was super frustrated. And I kind of threw a temper tantrum, wanted to quit. And people will say, oh, they always make nice, whether it's Facebook or whatever. I'm very honest about my frustrations and my temper tantrums, because, people will say too, they'll be like, oh, you should be lucky just to compete, or happy just to compete. And you know what? If you're okay with being second, chances are you will not try hard enough to be first. Second place for me is the first loser. And I've been doing this for 5 years. 5 years straight. This is my 5th year. Women I started with compete for a year or 2, and they quit, and they give up, or, and I take my anger, my frustration, and I turn it around and work even harder. It's kind of like I get indignant more than mad. Like, I deserve to be there, and I don't think that I'm wrong in saying, I want to win. I see people get mad. Whether they get mad or if they looked good and got robbed, as they say, or they come back later and see their photos and say, well, maybe I was a little soft. I got maybe out of 56 girls, I could have been 30th. I didn't, I knew I had water on me. There was nothing I could do about it. It's a girl thing. But did I think that I deserved to be 30th and not 10th or whatever? I don't know. I mean, it was a crazy mess, because they didn't, without the pre-qualifications, any girl just threw themselves into the national show. It was overcrowded, it was an insane kind of day, and I don't think there were a lot of happy people, and just the way that part was managed, I think some girls decided not to try physique again because of it. But I think things are starting to clear up a little more this year, what they're looking for, and the posing and things like that. So it is straightening out and becoming a little more positive than it was initially. But if I get mad, I get mad. I'm not gonna lie and say I wasn't raging ready to quit. I did the same thing in figure. Too big, too muscular. I did actually quit figure, but physique, I think I belong there, so I'm gonna stick with it. So in conclusion, after the nationals, I took some time off. I took 4 months, try to build a little more muscle. I had been lean essentially for 4 years, eating clean, not really cheating, not going crazy for 4 years, and I wanted to bring something a little tighter to the stage. I had always done my own prep, never followed anyone. I'm very stubborn, but part of me is body dysmorphic disorder, which happens to a lot of people who compete. And sometimes I obviously I don't see myself, and I needed an outside perspective. I could look in the mirror one day and think I'm fat, and then the next day think my legs are too small. I always think my nose is too big. Whatever. We don't see ourselves as others see us. So I did a little research, and I came up with a coach, Braun, for Braun Fitness, and we coach online. He Skypes with me. It was kind of difficult at first. He's very easy to get along with. I brought him on 5 weeks before the show, and but when he tells me to do something, at first I'm very stubborn. I'm like, I can't, and he puts up with me. But we tweaked my physique. I got leaner in the legs than I've ever been. Posing has to be spot on, and just little things when you're Skyping and he tells you like, oh, drop this arm, or when you're doing a double bi from the back and he tells you to bring your elbows forward, help spread out your back. It makes a world of difference. Tweak my diet. He's really, really strict on some diet things, but he knows his stuff really well. And whether it's I need to smooth you out before a show because you're looking a little too hard, and being new with him, he doesn't know how I'm going to react. Like some girls, he'll give them more sweets and fats, and other girls he'll tell them to have a burger and fries the night before. It really depends. So he's very attentive in that. Text message, how are you feeling? What do you look like? And I have to just be able to describe to him. But it's not something that, if you want to win, it's not something that's handed to you. Like here's a diet, you're on your own. It's constant attention. I'm probably one of his easier clients in that respect because I've done it, and I know how I feel when I have carbs. I can feel it in my arms, and my arms start to tighten, and I know all the lingo. But so if you're looking to achieve a little more, try to get an objective person, but try to find someone who's not just going to yell at you and insult you. I've heard about some trainers who will yell at their girls. I'm like, no one's yelling at me. I'm 43 years old. I have kids. I'm not getting yelled at. It takes a lot, and I have to really, really respect someone to respect their opinion and their eye. And he had some girls turn pro, and I like the way they look. And he's not just going to take anybody and turn you into like suddenly like an overnight thing. It's a process, and it's just different for me. But I think this year, is my year to achieve more, and I'm grateful to have that second set of eyes, keeping me from going insane. The thing that I did different for this show is basically I ate a lot of fish. I had very little carbs. He introduced me to a cream of rice, and I think that made a huge difference. I am super carb sensitive, and I know a lot of people say I'm carb sensitive. Me, I eat a rice cake and my stomach swells up. I don't take carbs well. I'm always low carb. Even before a competition diet, I was super low carbs, maybe a thing of brown rice a day. I don't really need them to exist, and that was probably one of the biggest ones. Also, we cut out a lot of fats in my diets. So, and before he kind of put me on a regimented thing and said, here's what you have 6 times a day, I would be more likely to say, I'm going to have some ground turkey or some ground beef because it's meat and it's no carbs. But to have somebody watch your fat intake and watch what happens to you with fat intake is important. You know, you don't want your hair to get super dry, or you know, your skin gets very dry, or you start to look really drawn in the face. So having someone watch you and see what happens to you week by week is really right to Miss Fit Fern. It's MS Fit Fern on Gmail for that, and look forward to having some projects going on. I'm gonna design videos, recording how to prep food and how to eat more efficiently for every day, for people every day, for my clients. And I think I'll be doing that on DVD, showing a lot of food prep and, you know, efficient ways to bring your food with you and avoid processed and things like that. Because I think I have a perspective as a busy parent, a working mother, or whatever you want to call me, to know what it's like to try to be efficient in time and not cheat on your meals. And, you know, so I'm trying to educate more and more people and do what I can to change people's mind about fitness and how hard it is to maintain. Because once you get on the eating clean regimen, you feel better, you look better, and you feel younger. And I think everybody wants that.